All right, friends and fans, welcome back to Greg's Mobile Automotive AC Repair. I'm in the shop today, and I just got a few things I want to update everybody on. Been a little bit since I've been able to post anything. Been extremely busy. A lot of stuff going on at work and in my shop, and not complaining a bit, but I am very busy. All right, so I'm sure some of you want to know what the update is on the 68 Ford I've been working on. I'm almost completed with insulating the firewall and getting that all put back together. So when I got into this, those of you that have been following the other videos on this Ford, pulled all the wiring out and everything, got in behind the dash and up underneath the dash against the firewall and everything, and realized that the stuff that was originally installed was, most of it was gone. The stuff that was left was extremely brittle and would fall apart just looking at it. And so spoke with the customer and found an alternative to put in. I'll be posting some pictures and video of that, what I've done. I think I mentioned it before. I went with a product called Noico and Noico Red. So it's a butyl rubber with a foil back on it that you put in first, and it's form fitting, so it'll hit all the contours and everything. And then you follow that up with a closed cell foam insulation that goes over the top of that. So provides both sound deadening and thermal insulation for that. So like I said, almost done with that. I've got a few more pieces of the foam to cut in and fit into place. And then I am also in the midst of waiting for a heater core, because in order to get all this stuff done, I had to, of course, pull out the box that had the heater core and the blower motor and all that stuff in it. And since I had that out, I went ahead and tested the heater core. Here it is here. And I kind of had a clue that it was probably bad just because of the rust and stuff that was on the back of the heater box. And so sure enough, I put it in a bucket of water, plugged one in, put a little bit of shop air to the other end, and that thing blew bubbles like me in a pool. So verified for sure. I thought I had one located from one company, and got in the cart and paid for it, and 2 days later they informed me that it was not available and they didn't know when it would be. So Scrambled, of course this is all time, but Scrambled found another one, verified they did have it in stock, and that should be shipping soon, I hope. They're like everyone else, everybody that's out there that's dealing with shipment issues and availability of things. I feel you. It's industry wide. In fact, it's crossed multiple platforms of industries. Hardware and lumber, you name it, automotive parts, accessories, things like that. It's, there's going to be a gap there for a little while from what I've seen and stuff that I've been able to follow up on. A real brief note on that, just talking about customer service and things like that. I've got some things that have changed in the shop recently. I'll show you here one of the exciting things that I've been working up towards for a while, and I'm super excited that I've got that. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I just want to talk about customer service and follow through. Recently my wife and I dealt with another company, has nothing to do with automotive, has something to do with what we had done at our house, and we'd ordered carpet for our house that came in. It took us a while to get a hold of the person that was supposed to come out and verify the quote that we had received. Unfortunately, the original salesperson that we had dealt with had passed away. And so, there was a disconnect there, which, hey, stuff like that happens. That's called life, life happens. So when we finally did get a hold of the person, came out, sat down, talked about what we had discussed with the previous salesperson, got all that taken care of, and paid the money down to go ahead and get the carpet ordered that we wanted, and waited and to be fair, the man had told us that it would take a pretty lengthy amount of time for him to receive the carpet in. Just supply and demand and the whole supply chain is experiencing issues, and okay, but it just, the time kept going on and kept going on, and I can't stress enough how important it is just to communicate with customers. I try to do it with my shop. I recently, just like 2 days ago, had an incident here in my shop where, those of you who know me, I'm a one-man band playing a 10-piece ensemble, so I've got a lot of things going. I got a lot of stuff going on. I have a full-time job that I do, that I sometimes can carry over to 60 or 70 hours in a week, depending on time frame. And then on top of that, I do this. So, I have a lot of stuff going on. And so 2 days ago, my wife come to the shop and she said, hey, something's going on with my vehicle. So I went out and I sat in the driver's seat, and she's like, do you feel that? And I'm like, yeah. And it felt like a slight, fish bite misfire. So, well, okay, and I did a few little, preliminary tests, put it in drive, all that stuff, and just to see. And I said, well, we'll get it in next day or two and see what's going on with it. Something's definitely there. But I wasn't real concerned about it, So, of course, I have jobs scheduled, for the next few days, plus my regular work or what have you. About 40 minutes later, she'd left and went running errands and doing her thing, and she calls me. She said, hey, I was sitting in line at a fast food place, and check engine light came on, and it's getting noticeably worse. Okay. So I said, I'll check it when I get home this evening. So I got home that night. It was rather late when I got home. Threw the diagnostic computer on there because, of course, now there's DTCs and what have you, and had a P0303, which is a cylinder 3 misfire. Okay. One of the things that I noticed that gave me great alarm was the fact that as I'm sitting in the vehicle, this misfire is getting progressively worse. And I'm not driving, I'm just sitting here in the driveway, and it's getting progressively worse. And in my experience, to the things that I've dealt with and vehicles I've worked on, that's usually indicative of a mechanical problem, as opposed to, I was really hoping it was going to be something simple. Now, I had just done spark plugs and some maintenance on it a few months ago. I hadn't done coil packs, so there was no indication that it needed it. So I was kind of hoping, like, well, maybe it's got a bad coil pack or whatever. As I'm sitting there, though, in the driveway, and I'm running some tests on it, it's getting progressively worse. And my wife came and said, well, what do you think? Will we be able to drive it? And I had no... So that led to me having, because by this time it's pretty late, and I don't have all my tools. It's, they're here at the shop, so had to call off work, had to bring the van down, to the shop, and then subsequently, because I wasn't sure what I was getting into, and now I've got a vehicle in my bay, I had to call or actually text a customer that was scheduled to come in the next day. I said, hey, I apologize for the inconvenience, but my wife's vehicle is broke down. It's in my shop. I'm gonna have to reschedule. And I understand. I know that for if you've made an appointment with a shop and you're expecting it to happen, and sometimes life happens. It's very inconvenient. I get it. But the best I can do in that situation is what I felt like I did, which was get a hold of the customer. Hey, this is what's going on. As soon as I can reschedule, and I just stress that because it's so vitally important to stay in touch with the customers or be available to a customer. Going back to this other person, we didn't receive any type of phone calls or updates, and then when we would try to get a hold of this person, endless voicemails and no response, whatever. Anyways, that's over with. The carpet's installed. My wife's extremely happy. That's important. And I am too. It looks really good. So we're done. Fast forward a little bit. There's a company I deal with. There's several companies that I deal with. Those of you who know me know I spend a lot of time. It's not just pull a vehicle in, figure out what's wrong with it, fix it, and send it. There's a lot of time ordering parts, researching, getting information. And there's more to it. So, and I enjoy it. I enjoy some aspects of it more than others, obviously. So anyways, there's one company in particular I deal with. It's called JBT Co, Jersey Discount Tool Company. Shout out to them. They have a website. They have an app. They have a phone number. And they have YouTube. And so I encourage you guys that are subscribed and watching me, go over there and watch them. Nick Morello, he's the godfather, self-proclaimed godfather of the tool world. And I will say this, the man is extremely knowledgeable about tools and stuff, but he's from New Jersey. That's my horrible attempt at a New Jersey accent. I apologize. Anyways, he's a lot of fun to watch. More importantly, they have a lot of great tools over there. So I've ordered a couple things from them, and recently I ordered a hood light from them, and I was waiting to see some shipping confirmation or whatever. And here's where I'm going with this. Twice that I've ordered from them, I've called them, and I get them on the phone. I think I've called, and both times I called, I believe I spoke to Nick Jr., which is his son, and it's just him and his son. They'll hire some temporary help or whatever, but both times I've called, phone rings, and then he'll pick up, and it's Nick Jr. And hey man, I'm just checking on the stats. What's your last name? Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, no, hey, here we go. This is what's going on. I'm waiting for this part to come in. It was on back order. Blah blah blah. Bam bam. Good guys over there. I encourage you to go over and check it out. JDTco.com or JDTV Co on YouTube. Cool guys, a lot of fun. Anyways, customer service, it's important. Just stay in contact. Customer service is more than just, taking care of their needs. Sometimes it's just letting them know, life happens. Things go wrong. So there you go. That's my rant, as bad as that was. So let's get on to some positive things. I'm waiting for the heater core to come for the 68 Ford pickup truck. As soon as the heater core comes, I'll put the heater box back together. By that time, I'll have the insulation all wrapped up, and then I can finally run wire. And it's funny because I've watched a number of restore YouTube channels and guys that are doing, and it's always that, there's that phrase. And those of you who rebuild cars or who are redoing cars, you're going to hear this phrase. You're going to cringe and laugh, right? Here it is. While I'm in there. Those words are like, oh. So, it's one of those things, right? While I'm in here, I might as well check this out. While I'm in here, I'll go ahead and replace that. Well, while I'm in here, which is a good mindset to have. The problem is sometimes that can take you down a rabbit hole. So I'm at a hinge point now to where I need the heater core to show up so I can put the heater box back together, so I can put the heater box in so that I can run the wiring I need to run. And then once I get the wiring run, then I can get on some other stuff. But so that's what's going on with the Ford. I'm still enjoying it. It's a good project, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm about maybe a week or so away. Again, once I'm waiting for the heater core. I'm at the mercy of shipping and whatever, but about a week or so away from getting all the wiring done, and then then we can get into some exciting stuff, and I'll start shooting some more videos once I get the wiring done. I haven't shot a lot of videos because right now it would just be you watching me put in foil insulation and foam, and I'm pretty sure that's not exciting for anybody. Anyways, maybe it is. If it is, hey, if that's your thing, go for it. You do you, boo. Okay, so some other exciting things have been going on other than, my wife's vehicle. Oh, let's talk about my wife's vehicle. So yeah, it broke down. I brought it down here. And those of you who know me personally and have watched some of my other channel stuff, I did a relative compression test on it because by the time I drove it down here, I realized there's definitely something issue going on here. So I got it down here, hooked up the oscilloscope with an amp clamp, got everything set up, did the cranking relative compression test, and sure enough, it's a 6-cylinder, and I had 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I had, and it's just, that's a mechanical misfire, time and time again. And so as soon as I saw that, I knew, okay, for one, I don't have the time. For two, I don't have the shop space, and for three, I do not have the interest to tie into the top end of this engine, which is what I'm assuming it is. These particular vehicles, that she has are known for some specific problems when it comes to a misfire, and so whatever. Usually it has to do with camshafts and lifters and rockers and all that fun stuff. So fortunately for me, I remembered we have a very, very, very good warranty through the company that we bought it from. I called them up, made arrangements, and finally got it shipped over there to them. So now it's their problem until I have to pay, and then it's my problem. That's all right. So, okay. Other exciting things, good news that is going on. Those of you who know, I've been waiting to get a lift in my shop. I don't do a lot of brakes and tires and things like that. What I do is a lot of AC and condensers and compressors and fuel tanks, because I do evap leaks. I have smoke machine and all that stuff. And I've been doing a lot of the work that I've been doing for the last 8-9 years. I've been doing it off of jack stands, on the floor, creeper. And it's doable, but I'm not getting younger. I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm not young. And so I've been shopping around for a lift for a long time, and haven't been able to. I can't put a 2-post lift in because, for one, I don't own the space. For two, the floor concrete, the thickness in the floor is not enough. It's only a 4-inch floor, and I believe and those of you who know for sure can correct me in the comments. I think I have to have a minimum of 8 inches to do a 2-post. Maybe it's 6. Anyways, I know this doesn't meet the requirements. So, and then for my application, I have a single bay door. I have enough room in here that I have 2 vehicles that are parked in here. You'll see that here in just a second. But if I put a 2-post lift in, it really limits my ability to maneuver things around in the shop and stuff like that. You guys who have 2-posts or work in shops with 2-posts, you know what I'm talking about. It's a whole different ballgame when you've got a door, you've got a bay and a door, and you pull straight in, and there's your 2-post lift. You do what you got to do, and you back straight out, and the guy next to you has his own bay. I don't have that luxury here. So I wanted something that was somewhat, I'm somewhat movable, somewhat easily movable, and you'll see why I'm saying that here in a second. So here's what I ended up going with. I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can kind of see. So give me just a second here. Bear with me. I'm going to flip you guys around. This is my pickup truck, and it's up in the air. And as you can see, I have plenty of ceiling space still. And there's my lift. So I ended up going with a scissor lift. It's called a scissor lift. And specifically, I went with TitanLifts.com. Not a sponsor, but I definitely wanted to give them a shout out. So I went with the SL6600. It is capable of lifting 6,600 pounds. And there's... So the reason why I chose this one in particular was because of the fact that it does have these arms here. Comes with a set of adapters. It came with these adapters, which if I need to, these screw jack out, so they'll get even higher. I can take that pad that's screwed into that, and I can screw it right into there's threaded hole right here. Let's see if I can get that to focus. And then there's also a set of sliding pads that go on there just for, smaller, like, sub or uniframe vehicles, things like that. And then this is rubber padded as well. And then it's adjustable, the arms swivel, and they also slide back and forth. So you have a very, very almost infinite number of angles that you can hit. And so you just have to know the vehicle's center of gravity, or center of balance rather. Yeah, center of gravity, center of balance. And then place these in the appropriate lifting points, and up she goes. And this is at its max height. So I'll turn around here. So those of you who know me know how tall I am. This is where I am to the tire on my truck. So yeah, what I like about it is I have a little shop stool that I can sit on, which I'm sitting on now, and I can roll underneath this. I can get to compressor, condenser. There's the AC compressor up there. I don't know if it's going to light up. Let's see if I can turn on a light here, give you guys a little better. There we go. There's a compressor right up in there. Got a little bit of oil on it because I got a leaky valve cover I got to address. And then, of course, condenser, all that stuff's back up underneath the plastics here. Do I feel like this thing is safe? Yes, I do. As you can see, it's got 2 hydraulic rams, and then it's got this locking pawl system. It has 7 positions that it'll lock into, and so you lift it up until this pawl clicks, and then you lower it down onto it. And so it has a mechanical and hydraulic lock there that keeps this thing up in the air. Short of an earthquake, which is a reality from where we are, I'm fairly safe under here. So yeah, there are a couple of points where it would be difficult maybe to do some work because you do have these center cross pieces here and there and there. But for what I do, like I said, I'm not looking to do transmissions, although if I really needed to, I could get in there. There's my transmission pan. I could service it if I had to. Might get a little bit messy, but then again, maybe not. I could put a magnetic pan right here to catch stuff in, and I could drop that transmission pan at least on my pickup truck and change a filter if it needs to be, things like that. I'm not going to be able to pull the transmission easily from here, from what I can see. But that's okay. I don't really plan to get on that or get into that much. I can do an oil change if I had to, which I try not to do my own oil changes because I don't get paid for them. But I'm going to roll down here. Sorry for the loud noise. As you can see, I've got plenty of access here to the back where the rear axle is, tires, shocks, driveline, rear diff, fuel tank on this if I had to. And this could be a bit of a challenge. Here's the muffler, carrier bearing, all that stuff. It might be a bit of a challenge if I wanted to drop this fuel tank, but I don't think it would be too bad. I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to drop it when it was full of fuel. The nice thing about this is while this was on the ground, the vehicle was on the ground, I could undo straps and things like that and do some blocking or whatever and move the fuel tank over and then lift the vehicle up enough to slide it out from underneath. Usually when I'm doing a fuel tank, it's because I have to change around here, you know, in-tank fuel pump, evap leak, because, you know, like on some of the Toyotas, I'm not sure if the Nissan's the same way. I haven't looked at this yet. I don't think so, because I think their canister box is right here, which I'm really digging for those of you guys who are familiar. Here, let me turn you around here. Hold on. Let me get some light on the subject around. There is the evap canister box for the system on this pickup, which if you guys, any of you guys out there that have done systems on other vehicles, Chrysler, Dodge, I'm talking to you, you know, some of them are a pain in the neck to get to. They're up in the fender well in the rear of the vehicle, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, stuff like that's easy to get to, but I've had to drop fuel tanks on some Toyota pickups and stuff like that whenever I've smoked the system. And there's a rollover overfill protection valve that they put in there that if it leaks, you'll end up with an evap leak, a 405 or something like that. It's large evap leak. And you got to drop the tank sometimes to get those out, or to do the fuel tank. Or when I did the fuel tank on the one Toyota pickup a while ago, the customer had me go ahead and do the fuel pump as well. I did that on the floor without a lift. I got it done, but I'm telling you, this, to me, for me, this lift is a game changer. I just got this thing, and because of all the stuff going on with my wife's car and everything, I just got it set up today. And this is the first lift I've done with it. I did a few, you know, safety lifts before. I wouldn't be sitting underneath here if I wasn't, you know, sure that it was good to go. I put the hydraulic fluid in it. I ran it up and down probably about 10, 15 times before I put any weight on there. Then I put my truck on there because, hey, I'm not going to put a customer's car on here first. I'm going to break some. I'll break my own first, you know. So I put my truck on there. I lifted it up off the ground about 6 inches, shook everything, let it down, lifted it about 10 inches, shook everything, lifted it to the first locking pawl, dropped it on the pawl, you know, made sure it was all good. I'm going to tell you what, this thing is stout and sturdy. I'll turn you guys around so maybe you can see some construction here. This is, you know, these are the rollers that are inside here that is on the main platform. This is the channel. These are the beams. So, I mean, I hope that's translating well for you guys in video. This thing is not, you know, not monkeyed around with. It's not put together by, you know, it's got a good coating on it. It looks like powder coating. And I'm a gray fan. I love the color gray. So that did not absolutely have anything to do with it did not influence my decision to buy this lift, but it was definitely a plus, like, woohoo, my favorite color. But the reason why I went with this is it's got a number of really good reviews from within the industry, from people that have been using it for a number of years. The first version of this was blue, kind of a, I don't know, maybe the color of my creeper right there, blue, was their first Titans. And I think the model that's below this, which is a Titan, the 6,000 capacity one, is still the blue color. But if you look at these pins, these welds, I mean, this thing is put together very well. So yeah, for me, it's a game changer. Set this thing up in the air and was confident with it. I video chatted my wife. She's over visiting our grandson or whatever, and showed her, hey, look what I got, and just thanked her because she's a big supporter of me in this, this shop, and she helped make this possible. So for me, it's a game changer. So very excited about that. I've got a couple jobs coming up in the very near future. I've got to do a compressor and a condenser change on a vehicle. Unfortunately, compressor, locked up and that whole game. So this will be, man, this is going to be a whole different way to do things. I'm super excited. I don't know if you guys can tell. So anyways, that's what's going on. I know I haven't posted nothing in a while. Again, apologize. A lot of stuff going on. I do have some content coming for the 68 Ford, but like I said, I'm waiting until I get something where I can show you guys like, hey, here's some really good progress here. But I am chipping away at it. Other than that, business as usual. Summertime is here, and people, they don't like to have AC systems that don't work when it's 110 degrees outside. I can figure that. I understand that. So anyways, that's about all I got for now. If you guys got any questions, want to know something about the lift, if you're interested in where I bought it from, anything like that, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer you. If you know me personally, you have my email address, shoot me an email, hit me up. And I will definitely be shooting some more videos on this lift as time goes by. And those of you who know me, if I think it's junk, I'm going to tell you it's junk. So far, honestly, with the way it shipped and the ease of getting it up and running and just looking at the quality, I've worked in some metal fabrication places when I first got out of the Army. And I'm not a welder, but I know what a good weld looks like. I know what a crappy weld looks like. And I have seen nothing in this that says, this was not done right. Time will tell. All right. Hey, appreciate, real quick, just want to mention this. I'm up to, I believe the last count was 60 subscribers. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. I'll keep putting stuff up, and I hope you guys find it interesting or entertaining or, I don't know, maybe bizarre. Who knows? But thank you so much for subscribing and sharing and liking. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me comments on stuff that you'd like to see in the future or something you like, that I've talked about you want to hear more about. All right. You guys stay safe. Thank you guys. Bye.